The next section you'll find right next to our elements is the block section or the blocks button. Blocks are pre-saved sections that we know for a fact most online business owners use in their pages, so we just wanted them to be already made for you. That way you can just change the text and then it's ready to go. For instance, opt-in forms, features, page footers, and welcome messages. All of these have been pre-made as templates, so you can easily add them to your page in just a few clicks. So let's say I want to add this welcome block. I would just click it and then it will be added to the end of the page. But since it's a welcome block, I can just drag it to wherever I want it to be placed. And in this case, it would be the top of my page. Blocks are really your best friend when it comes to saving time building your pages. You can actually create your own blocks so you can use them across your pages without having to start from scratch. So let's say I want to use this part of my page on another step of my funnel or another page. I would just click here on the save button and you can save any element as a block. So you can save a whole section or just a row. You would just add a title for it, like a name for it, so you can easily find it. Let's just write course funnel welcome. You can save it like that and it will be saved as a simple block, or you can click here and save it as a master block. The difference between a simple block and a master block is that with a master block, if you make a change to the block while you're editing, then all of the other pages where you use that block will change as well. And so for the simple blocks, you don't have to worry about all of your pages changing if you use it and edit it. So once you decide what kind of block you want to save it as, you can click create, and that way whenever you want to use it again, you will find it right here on the blocks tab. Now let's take a look at the other tabs in the editor. So the settings and the pop-ups tabs. Starting out with the pop-ups tabs, for context, a pop-up is a window that appears on your screen without an intentional action from the person looking at the page, meaning it appears automatically depending on the settings that you decide for it. So if you want to create one, just go to this tab and click Add Pop-up. You will immediately be prompted with the pop-up window, and to edit it, you would just click here on the Edit Pop-up Settings button. Now we can customize our pop-ups, so we can add elements, input forms, images, really any element that you want into your pop-up, and also make sure that the settings are what we want them to be. So the first setting that you can choose from is to show or not to show the close button of the pop-up. You can actually delay for the pop-up to show up. So when someone clicks on the close button, then they won't see the pop-up again until the delay has passed. This delay is in days. So if you choose, let's say 1 day here, that means that if someone visits your page, sees the pop-up, and then they click on the close button, this person will not see the pop-up again in 24 hours. You can also choose to show the pop-up automatically. So if you turn this option on, you will have to decide how many seconds after the person enters your page, they will see the pop-up show up. So let's say I want the pop-up to show up 6 seconds after someone enters my page. I would just use the slider or type 6 here. Another important pop-up setting is the exit intent setting. This option allows you to set your pop-up to appear when the person that's visiting your page is about to quit the page. You just need to turn it on, and every time someone from a desktop tries to quit the page, then they'll see your pop-up on their screen automatically. This setting only works in computers, so for mobile, you will just have to set it up using a timer and this slider right here. This is where you decide on the delay in seconds. Right below this setting, you'll find the design settings for your pop-up window. So as you can see here, you can customize the background color, the padding, border, shadows. You can round the corners, just like any other element. Now let's take a look at the settings button. So when you go to the editor settings here, you will find the general settings or the default settings for your page. Here you can choose your default font type, font style, font size, line height, etc. So the settings that you put here will be your default settings for most of your elements in your page, but of course, any element can be customized in detail. You can also find the language, and the language here is really important for a page because that's the language that the system will use, for instance, to show error messages to your visitors. For example, if someone tries to subscribe using one of your order forms, but they don't fill the form out correctly, then they'll see an error message saying they must fill out the form completely, and it will appear in the language that you selected for your page. Another scenario where the language is important is when we send out default messages to your customers or subscribers when they enroll in your courses or purchase your offers. So it's really important that you choose the correct language. Here on the settings tab, you can also add a background to your page. This background will be the main background for the whole page. You can add a color as a background, or you can add an image. And of course, you can blur the image when you add it as a background for your page. Next, we have the SEO part of your page. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. Here, you can add the title of your page, you can add a description, keywords, and the goal behind this is to try for your page to rank higher and make it more visible for search engines. You can also add the author to your page. You can choose to add a social image, and this image will appear anytime someone shares your page on social media. And then we have this option right here. That's where you decide either to hide or show your page on search engines. Maybe you don't want any external traffic coming to your page. You just want your page to be private. Then you would select this checkbox. Then we get to the tracking codes area here. So we can add tracking codes to the header and footer of the page. For example, a Facebook pixel or a Google Analytics pixel. So you can put it right here. And it's useful for tracking user behavior and conversions. And finally, we get to the affiliation part here. Here you have an option to display the Powered by System.io badge on your page. And if one of your visitors clicks on it, they will immediately be redirected to our homepage with your affiliate ID, which means that if they purchase one of our plans or resources, you will get a commission because they came from your page. So keep in mind that you will only get the option to remove the badge with our paid plans. Now let's check our order form is working because that's the goal of a landing or a squeeze page. It's to collect emails and leads. So let's just put an email address here. We see the thank you page, which is perfect. This means it has been successfully submitted, and we should see the contact in our contact tab. So let's go there, and here it is. So our contact has been successfully created.